So I finish what I call Paula Gloria Kicks Milton Friedman's Dead Ass Halloween Special. Okay, so happy Halloween. It's Paula Gloria, and what I'm going to do is a show where I'm going to go through some humorous greeting cards that I'm going to be sending to some of the special donors to Rabbit Hole Central TV, to the Concordia Foundation. And first what I want to do is start off by reading a letter that was written from Milton Friedman to Norman Kurland, and then what Norman Kurland's response is. And this is something that happened a long time ago, but it will give us a feeling of the state of the economy today and how the economy has not been served by the institutions. So I just want to say, in the spirit of Happy Halloween, when I was a child, I always dressed up as a princess, and with the fairy wand, I think it's every child's dream to come into the world and make it a better world. And so princesses who are lucky enough to have fairy godmothers that give them tools, power objects, something like a magic wand is something that you could like wave over the kingdom and have prosperity be something that could be enjoyed by everyone in the kingdom. At least that is something that I think every real princess would aspire to. So before I go into all of the wonderful greeting cards that I'm going to be handing out to our wonderful donors, So I finish what I call Paula Gloria Kicks Milton Friedman's Dead Ass Halloween Special. So here we are, back again to my Happy Halloween event here. This has gone on longer, 5 minutes. So I may have to switch on to other things, but what I wanted to another tape. But what I wanted to say is that what would make somebody go from being, I'm going to switch the tapes right now. What I want to do is do what I did when I was a little girl. I would dress up as a princess. And I looked around my apartment to find something that would be like a magic fairy wand. Here, let's have another shot for magic fairy wand. And the idea is that a princess wants to be part of a kingdom where everyone is prosperous. And some people say, well, that's just like wishful thinking and magic. So now, what would make somebody go from wanting to be a princess to, say, using other strategies? I mean, a certain amount of heartbreak goes when you kind of have this attitude, you're sort of a Pollyanna, you grow up and you find the world isn't quite like that. The years roll on, and so eventually you try other strategies. So in this case, you become a little bit more witch-like. Now, what does it mean to embrace practices that sort of take a look at the ephemeralness of life and how we're not here very long? Why are these practices sometimes called left-handed practices? You know, people be meditating in graveyards. And why is Halloween such a revered holiday? Because, you know, I was even at the Friars Club and they were all festive and they had the pumpkins, you know, the jack-o'-lanterns cut out. So I'm just saying, you know, you use what's available. So what I'm going to be doing is handing out, I'm going to be sending today Halloween cards to some of my favorite donors and to my family and people who've helped Rabbit Hole Central. And so let's start with one. This was going to go down to Sorrow Helps. And what it says here is, oh, it's kind of awfully bright. I'm going to see if I can tune this down on the brightness scale. It's, oh good. So nice to finally meet you. That's not my hand. And it says, Count Dracula and the Invisible Man share an embarrassing moment. And then you open it up, and it goes, of course, Happy Halloween. So that's my Halloween card to Sorrow Helps. Here we've got another one that I'm going to be sending to my sister. And that's this one, which is Fashion Tips. The taller the better for the hat. Latest model of the broom. And moles are sexy. And this season black, next season black. There's a little funny cat there. The very best Parisian boutique. Boo. And a must-have hag bag. So you open this up, and it says, from one stylish girlfriend to another, happy Halloween. I may actually be sending that one to Rosalie, so we can be, because we've shared in that sort of witchy commentaries, you know, people will be sort of griping about us, saying we're just like, you know, older women who are still trying to advance what we know with the feminine abilities that we still have. And that, I would say, is passion and the ability to really stick close to what we believe in. That's what I think a woman's greatest ability is. Here's another funny one. Blood light, I said. And here's the guy Dracula wanting his blood light. And it says, hope your Halloween will be made to order. I want to send that one to Blasting Caps. And then this one I'm going to send to my sister or my mother. And this is a fun one. This is... This is hilarious. So there you got the little witch eating the gingerbread house that she's living in. And the two witches are discussing this. It must be that time of month. Now this is very interesting. Oh, it says, hope you get your chocolate fix this Halloween. My mom loves chocolate. And what's interesting about this is witches are usually depicted as ugly and old and menopausal, so you wouldn't be thinking that time of month would be such an issue. However, witches also were feared because they started to tap into notions of immortality. So who knows what happened in the past? Maybe some people who grew afraid of some lovely lovers that they had and discovered that the lovers were older than they thought. Maybe they got furious about it and wanted to burn them at the stake. Who knows how it came about? And it also shows the importance. Let's see if I get this lighter. The importance of understanding the mechanism that when you raise the positivity, the negativity comes up. So you think, oh, isn't that great? You know, we can live for a long time, and science is showing that. And I did one show where I actually went up to one of the libraries, and they had the reference section, and I showed some of the books about some of the new challenges that are going on in science as we deal with the longevity, you know, the exploration of the genes and so on. And I also took out a book on Judaism, an encyclopedia, and I looked up and I found, you know, the page just right open to the Lutz bone. I think it's L-U-T-Z, Lutz bone. And it refers to a bone that's at the bottom of the spine that's important to regenerate the body. And this explains why Jews wouldn't be burning themselves, because you want that bone to be preserved. It could be damaged in the burning process. These are very interesting concepts. And why in India do they burn? They're more into recycling. Indians don't generally live as long. I remember when I was at an Ayurvedic doctor's, I showed him a picture of my grandmother, and and then you have to write down what the age is, and I said it was 100. You know, I helped him because he doesn't know English that well to write it out, and he really raised his eyebrows. So it's very rare over in India to have people be living that long. On the other hand, they also have the history and legacy of the masters that are hundreds and thousands of years old that are living in the Himalayas, but more or less these people have isolated themselves from society. And then finally, I have a book which, where would my copy be right now? Oh, let me go. This book I've shown before. This book was out of print under a slightly different title, and I reprinted it in India. I tried to find the author and I couldn't. But what this book is about are masters that got together, I think ostensibly in the 70s, that had the siddhis and abilities, and they were kind of having like a siddha convention. And I remember there was one word I didn't understand when I read this, and that was Bhairavi Matta. Well, it turns out, I learned later, it was sort of whispered around because I was never in the inner circles at the ashram, but a Bhairavi Matta is a woman who initiates sexually. So she gives the Shakti, or she transfers the energy through her body, and probably mostly through the womb chakra. Although I know the energy can be lifted and it can work through the eyes too, which explains the power of flirting. So there is in India a notion, first of all, in the general society, they're not living that long. This may change because their society is all becoming like ours, as it gets more modern, and corporate products are, letting us have an easier life. So we may see that. Although, healthcare I'm not so crazy about, because a lot of the healthcare that involves chemotherapy and radiation, I don't think it's so wisely used. I think some of the older, more traditional methods are actually more effective. I've pointed out that in India, under Ayurveda, there's 20 different names for cancer, implying, a very, very specific understanding of exactly what's going on, and that you would have different methodologies of treatment, not just this sort of, one shot for all kind of thing. So longevity's there in the hills. You hear about these masters, and every once in a while you can learn about that. Blasting Caps, who I'm going to be sending this card to, I actually sent him that book so we can find out what he thinks about. He never really commented on that, and I was hoping to get him a little more interested in binary, but he's been busy paying bills. This is the last one. I'm going to send this one to 9/11 Shaman. I think you can see why. It says, I told you not to order the steak. There you go. And then you open that up, and it goes, a Halloween wish aimed right for your heart. Have a happy Halloween. So there you go. This is Paula Gloria, and those are my Halloween greeting cards. I also think, in the case of one of them, I'm going to actually send this one to the martial arts teacher who's been a great sponsor of the Concordia Foundation, and ask him to pass it on, because Sora Help is a little shy to give out his address, and hopefully, that feeling will change. I think this is one of the most hilarious cards. It shows the responsibility of siddhis, or the ability to do supernatural and extraordinary things. So maybe through the festiveness of Halloween, we can, sort of begin to, there's sort of the fingerprints of higher knowledge. And that's why you can go from wishing well to the world, sort of being like a princess. And that's what I always wanted to be when I was a kid. I'd go dress up and want to be pretty and do good things and wave magic wands and have binary economics and capital ownership and wealth enjoyed by all. Or you can say, lo and behold, we can come at it from another direction, that life is very short, it's very precious, and it's very important that all of us are included. So this is Paula Gloria, over and out. Have a super happy Halloween. Love to you all. News, I'm going to be changing one of these because Blasting Caps hasn't even responded. I don't know his address anymore. So Bloodlight, I said, is, this one is, hope your Halloween is made to order. This one, instead, I'm going to be sending to observation mode. So let's get a little of his action.
Hey people, how's your life going? I hope your life is going better than mine. That would be nice. I would like to at least be happy in knowing that somebody out there wasn't having to suffer so much.
Hey.
It would sure be nice to know that somebody out there didn't feel the need to have to smoke because that's what I choose to do to cope with life. I don't think I really am a smoker. I just think that I smoke sometimes.
Smoker.
And it gives me something to do.
Yeah, that's what they call smokers.
People, what has happened to me is just crazy. It's just a crazy fucking nightmare. Yeah, my videos are not PG. They're like rated R.
Mine are PG.
So I believe the whole HIV thing, and I took HIV
now you're gonna learn
drugs
something.
for
This guy's important.
11 years, thinking that I had a deadly virus in me, and then I come to find out the test is fraudulent. It only identifies 2 proteins for a positive result.
Yeah. It's a drag.
So that in itself is like going from one whole reality to another reality. And so, that's a mind fuck in itself. I think, well, maybe I died. Maybe I died to AIDS. And, okay, so then after that happened, you'd think that would be enough, right? That you think,
Look, I don't mean to demean this in any way. He's come a long ways. He's talking about it. Obviously, he's angry. He took HIV medication, deadly drugs that were worse than what he had, which was probably nothing.
oh, yeah, that's pretty severe. Okay, no, we got to add insult to injury. Insult to injury. We got to make sure that Greg has people around him that think he's crazy. We got to make sure that he really gets his mind fucked up by all these people who still want to tell him he's crazy and that he doesn't know what he's talking about. That's the first thing.
Okay, I think that's enough of that. The point is, I want you to take a look at this guy's website. It's very important, his process. He's getting really valuable information out there. And it's a process. When you start to learn more than what social consensus tells you is so, you've really got a lot of obstacles. So this is what he's saying. He's going through this. So it goes, YouTube, really broadcast yourself, free your mind. That's what our soldiers are fighting for. So he's expressing himself, and he should be able to express himself. And he has a lot for people to learn. But I told him, don't be too self-indulgent, and I didn't mean to trivialize what he's been through. But he responded with another video, to his own video. He responded to himself, which is great. That's what meditation's all about. Self-inquiry and observation.
Soon they come and they're gonna be a big star. Then they make TV shows and movies, giving myself a new power. But still I be myself. I don't want to change a thing. Still I dance and I sing. I think about the mother she used to say, what's the matter you? Hey, gotta no respect. What do you think you do? Why you look so sad? It's not so bad. It's a nicer place. Ah, shut up with your face. Mama, she said it all of the time. so bad. It's a nice place. I'll shut up your face. That's my 2 or 3 or 4. What's the matter, you? Hey, got no respect.
So there you go. The point is it's a process, and I'm saying Happy Halloween to observation mode, and I'm going to send him this card, Blood Light, I said, because sometimes a little bit of Budweiser is exactly what you need. So Happy Halloween, Greg, and keep up the hugely important work.